Hello, everyone. Today, we are going to secure networks with zero trust. Just like all other elements, we are going to protect the last element that we have with zero trust by achieving certain objectives. So what are those objectives for networks? Let's see. The very first is network segmentation. Yes, organizations should not have one single big network for incoming and outgoing. No, that's not ideal. That's not good. In zero trust approach, networks are segmented into smaller chunks of subnets where specific workloads are contained. Each subnet has its own ingress and egress controls to minimize the blast radius. By implementing software-defined perimeters with granular controls, we increase the difficulty for unauthorized actors to propagate throughout your network, and so reduce the lateral movement. With microsegmentation, organization can move beyond simple centralized network-based perimeters to comprehensive and distributed segmentation using software-defined microperimeters. Applications are partitioned to different virtual networks and connected using a hub and spoke model, which is most used network topology that I have seen, where everything is controlled through hub and all those spoke has their own workloads running. And if we talk about Azure, they're like NSGs, ASGs, private links, DDoS, firewall. There are lots of resources that we can utilize to do the proper network segmentation. And the second objective is threat protection. Cloud applications that have opened up endpoints to external environments such as internet or your on-premises footprint are at risk of attacks. And we can categorize those attacks into known attacks and unknown attacks. Known attacks, threats that have been discovered by our software provider or anyone in the larger community. There are platforms from where you can get the information. In such cases, the attack signature is available. And you need to ensure that each request is checked against those signatures. The key is to be able to quickly update your detection engine with any newly identified attacks. But what about unknown attacks? Well, these are threats that don't quite match against any known signature. That's why they are unknown. These types of threats include zero-day vulnerabilities that we have seen a lot, and unusual patterns in request traffic. The ability to detect such attacks depends on how well your defenses know what's normal and what is not. Machine learning. Your defenses should be constantly learning and updating such patterns as your business. And if anything finds unusual, then it can trigger or tag those things. So what are the steps that we can take to protect our environment from such threats? Well, we can use WAF through front door if that is the environment, through application gateway if that is the environment, and enable OWASP top 10 to protect against web layer attacks. Turn on bot protection rule set to prevent malicious bot from scraping information, conducting credentials, stuffing, etc. Adding custom rules to protect against vulnerabilities specific to your environment or your business. Use Azure Firewall for non-HTTP for threat intelligence about threat intelligence based filtering at layer 4. Then the third one is the encryption. We've already seen encryption many places, but here we are talking in regards with the network. So how can we take care of this objective? By enforcing HTTPS only communication for internet facing web applications. Use VPN gateway for remote sites or partners because traffic goes through the encrypted tunnel. And of course, turn on encryption on the point to site as well. Access VM by Azure Bastion over secure encrypted communication. So these are certain things which can help us encrypt network and take care of our environment. For further threat protection, we can turn on Azure DDoS protection standard, which is costly, but yes, if there is a need, we should enable that. To constantly monitor our Azure hosted application traffic, use machine learning based frameworks to baseline and detect volumetric traffic floods and apply automatic mitigations. So these are certain things which can help us to achieve zero trust approach to protecting our network. There are so many things that we have learned from the very first element to this last one, and a lot of things have already been covered in previous videos. But in upcoming video, we are going to actually see what all those resources that is there from Azure under zero trust.